An alien does not take over your body when you suddenly find yourself in the middle of a binge. Let's talk about how to stop that. The answer is not in here. So how do we end up knee-deep in the middle of peanut butter at midnight? Maybe it feels like your urges to binge just happen and you suddenly start binge eating. Maybe there is no feeling of separation between the urge to binge and you just automatically start doing it. If that's the case for you, keep watching in this video because we're going to talk about it and we're going to figure out together how to overcome it. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Angela. I upload every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to help you overcome the yo-yo dieting cycle, the urges to binge eat, binge eating disorder. Any struggles you may have like this, I am here to help you because I am overcoming it right along with you, and I am actively working on my binge eating disorder. And the things that I learn, the resources that I find, I spend a lot of time studying this and applying the principles and the things that have helped me, I want to share with you because you ain't got time to do all the research that I'm doing. I'm just gonna condense it down for you and share it with you right here on YouTube. Let's get started talking about if you have the urge to binge eat and automatically go into a binge. I want to talk about this because I listened to a podcast on Never Binge Again, Dr. Glenn Livingston talk about this, and I remember him saying that sometimes you have, and I felt like this was happening to me, he said sometimes you feel like you don't even have the urge to binge, you just automatically start binge eating. Sometimes it may feel like an alien has taken over your body and you have absolutely no control. You don't even feel the urge to binge, you just start binge eating. He's like, that kind of thing may feel like it's automatic, but let's talk about it, because is it really? If you've been on my channel long enough, or if you've seen previous videos I've done, you've heard me talk about the philosophy of the lower brain versus the higher brain. For those of you who are new to my channel and you're just finding this video, the quick summary is that your lower brain is what drives your binge urges. It's the primal brain, it's the Neanderthal brain, the less developed survival instinct brain. And that's the brain that gives you the urges that you have. And as Dr. Glenn Livingston with Never Binge Again says, it has the urges to eat, mate, or kill. And that's it. Those are your survival instincts. Whereas your higher thinking brain, which is the brain that literally controls everything you do, all of your bodily functions are controlled by your higher brain. That brain is what is the long-term brain in terms of thinking of what's best for you long-term. That higher thinking brain is the brain that wants you not to binge. That brain's like, no, we want you to lose weight. We want you to overcome this struggle of binge eating. That's the higher thinking brain. The higher thinking brain is in control of your body at all times. So when we examine the automatic binges, when we examine the fact that you just feel like, suddenly you're like in the middle of the fridge at midnight eating peanut butter, whatever those binges are, those are actually not automatic behaviors. And so although it can be very subtle, there is always a lower brain urge that drives you to the action. Maybe the urge is a feeling, maybe it's not a logical thought. And so what Never Binge Again teaches us is to pause. It's literally to pause. Like, let's say you start the bad habit of going into the binge eating behavior. Let's say you literally start opening the jar of peanut butter. Pause. That can feel really hard because especially if you have a habit that's like really deep ingrained in your neurological pathways, it can feel hard to stop. Here's what I would recommend. This is like an Angela philosophy. This is not a brain over binge, Catherine Hansen philosophy. This is not a Dr. Glenn Livingston, Never Binge Again philosophy. This is literally something that I made up for myself that has helped me tremendously. When you pause, ask yourself in words, literally ask yourself in words, why do I have the urge to binge? Why am I about to binge? If you can then think back to yourself the reason why you feel it, then you are back in your higher brain, because the lower brain is what's caused you to go take that peanut butter and start the binge. You're putting yourself back in your higher brain, and you can then refute the urge to binge and stop it. One other technique that Dr. Glenn Livingston with Never Binge Again had said was, he said, take deep breaths and count them. Like, breathe in for a count of 5, hold it, and then breathe out for a count of 7. He said that act of counting puts you back in your higher brain. That technique never worked for me, but I'm sharing it here because there's probably people watching who maybe it will work for you. Great, you do you, boo. For me, I've never been able to do that. What has worked for me is when I feel the urge to binge and I want to detach myself from it, I want to dismiss the urge to binge, I literally ask myself to put into words, like in my brain, I'm having a conversation with myself. I'm literally like, why do I want to do this? And when I can think of a reason, and usually for me, It's something like I had a really bad day at work. I was really stressed out at work, or my toddler son ran me up the wall today and I'm at my wit's end, or I'm really tired. I feel like I deserve this treat. You know, whenever I can verbalize in my mind, if I can imagine the reason why using words, it helps me be in my higher brain to be like, nope, I'm choosing not to do it because my higher brain is in control and I control the actions. Literally, there is no alien taking over my hand opening the peanut butter jar. There is no robot that took me over that I start eating ice cream and binge eating and just pouring cornflakes down my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Really, for me, the best advice that I have for you is if you feel like your urge binges are automatic, try to put those urges into words. Literally just take the seconds that it takes to stop yourself and ask, why am I about to do this? And see if that helps you. If you have any other advice, drop a comment below. This is important. This is like literally, to me, like the most game-changing piece of advice that I could possibly give you if your behaviors, like your urges to binge are automatic, when like you just suddenly find yourself, like you go numb, but then you wake up in the middle of a binge. You're like, what just happened? I just binged. This is the best advice I have for you. So I hope that this video helps you. If you have any other advice that have helped you in situations like this, drop a comment below, because this is a community where we really need to help each other, because I personally don't think there's enough content out there, especially on YouTube, to help people with binge eating disorder. And I'm really passionate about making video content like this and finding as many resources and tools and tips and tricks and life hacks to help the people like me who struggle with this binge eating disorder. So if you're here, know that I love you and I'm walking right alongside you and I'm praying for you, sending you so much love and support. Thank you for being here. Hit a thumbs up if you like this video. It helps me get boosted in the YouTube algorithm so that other people with binge eating disorder can find this content, possibly change their lives for the better. Super, super important, I believe. So give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, be sure to subscribe to my channel if this content is helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.